Perfect. You can see me, you can hear me. Perfect. Okay. All right, everybody. Let's get started. Thank you for joining us for this HEM webinar series edition called Save Your Organic Traffic, AI-Driven Search and SEO Evolution. You saw it promoted as AI-Driven Search and SEO Evolution. I added the Save Your Organic Traffic part because that's really where we're going today. It's really to help do all those things, but it has everything to do with AI. So let's get started. Looking at who we are, we're HEM Education Marketing Solutions. And you may know us, you may not. We provide all of these services with the focus on serving only the education sector. So we only work with schools. We work with schools worldwide and in multiple languages. And it's serving that education sector that is the unique service proposition that we offer, that value proposition, because the education e-marketplace is so unique from any other e-commerce out there. That's our specialty. Been doing it for 15 years, and we're really glad that you're with us. You're aware of us. Obviously, if you signed up for the webinar, most likely. In today's agenda, we're going to talk about today's student search reality. We're going to talk about what you need to know about SEO. So you know about SEO, but there has been so much change in past weeks and months. So I'm going to bring you up to date on that. And we'll really bring it down into SEO best practices today and GEO best practices today. So GEO being basically the AI facing or large language model facing version of SEO. So that is generative engine optimization being visible in AI searches, in ChatGPT search query results, that type of thing. We'll talk, of course, always about how to measure your progress. We're all about the data at HEM. I'll take your Q&A at the end, and then we have an offer for you, a really exciting HEM Academy course that's coming up about AI and ChatGPT in education marketing. So I'm Scott, your host. Thank you for being here. I have your microphones muted, just so I can get through the content, and boy, do we have a lot of content today. You also need to know that we're recording the webinar currently, and you will receive a recording of this webinar in a couple of days in your email. And then you'll also receive the webinar deck. So you don't need to scurry. We have a lot of content to get through. And so you'll be able to revisit this deck on your own time, which is great. Again, we're really glad you're here today. So I want to begin with today's student search reality. So this is Sophia. She is in Milan. She's having a cafe and she's doing a search. If she were doing a search on her laptop in Google, it would look like this. Which Canadian universities offer scholarships for creative writing and have video tours online? So this is her inquiry. And even Google has, position one, page one with a Scholarships Canada post at the top, but then it quickly gets into things called SERP features, things like people also ask. So these are more dynamic, they expand, they extract, they have links to who provided these additional other kind of questions and answers. So these are much more engageable. You also would likely see some elements in the right-hand column of perhaps maps. So this is a broader search at this point. So that's what she sees in Google. Here's what she sees in Google AI mode. If she were to engage AI mode, she's going to type in the same question and she's going to get a whole lot more. She's going to get a single answer from multiple sources. So AI mode is basically the large language model version of Google Gemini, right? It's without going to Gemini, you're still in Google search, but it's all those aspects of many resources bringing you answers on the left with a few hyperlinks. And then you see on the right, all of those articles that are cited as the sources of this answer. Most of these articles, you see a few are videos. they're not necessarily the home page of a school. So they're getting down into program pages, etc. Now, if she were to do that same search in, let me try to reframe this. Oh, it already went through it. This is in ChatGPT. So the same video, it's a more robust show of all of those search results, just as we've seen, plus things like charts and graphs with multiple sources cited at the bottom. So you can see that the AI mode, the ChatGPT version and options are bringing you much more than the traditional search options. So the difference in AI search versus traditional search is that for the question, AI is reading the intent of your question. AI is considering all the words and the phrases in your question. It's then considering many additional possible related questions, and it's then creating an answer that provides a concise, direct, and understandable resolution to your question, not just 10 blue hyperlinks, but an answer to your question. It's providing an answer that is multimodal, and that means it has cited statements, articles, links to websites, as well as reviews, images, videos, charts, graphs. So it has many different, you choose the way you want to interact or what really resonates best with you as the user. And it's working through multiple reputable sources cited and linked as the origins of that information provided. So there's a lot more to what AI is doing and providing for you, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing. So let's talk about those trends that are shaping both SEO and GEO. First of all, clearly, the answers now come more easily. AI overviews appear in 47% of Google searches now worldwide. This means, so these overviews that have all the concise and direct answers to your questions, that means fewer people are clicking through to websites, right? So the click-through rates of top websites are down between 15 and 30%. We'll talk more about that, but that's just in the search panel itself. Conversely, look what's on the rise. And to no, surprise, we're talking ChatGPT, Copilot, Perplexity, Gemini. They have seen a 530+% increase year over year in users. So it is shooting like a rocket, right? Now, keep in mind, organic traffic decline overall worldwide on websites can be down between 15 and 64%. This is in the past 6 to 8 months. So these are massive drops. Actually, I think this is in the past year. I want to make sure I cite everything correctly. So in the past year, organic traffic overall has dropped between 15 and 65% to websites overall. In the education sector specifically, we're talking about the folks we work with at HEM. We're seeing it more at 15 and 25% because it's more of a specialized group that's a little more focused on actually wanting to go and read the content. But still, these are big drops in organic traffic because of all the other options. So I can get my answer in what's called a zero-click search in ChatGPT or Gemini. I'm not going to click on anything because the large language model just gave me the answer to my question. So something to keep in mind. And that's the change part. Now I want to go into what's remained the same. This is, as of today, how many of us use different modes to search. And you can see Google search remains the king. Still today, with all that growth we've just talked about, AI combined with all that growth is just scratching the surface of getting into the 7 to 8 to 10% of the traffic. Social media is around 13, and then you've got Google search in basically the 87 to 89% range of search traffic today. So SEO remains king, despite all the change we're talking about. That's important to note and to kind of wrap your head around because SEO is still very important to address on your website. Is this changing? Absolutely. It may be changing in front of our eyes. I would love to have this as a real-time graph to watch it grow and evolve, but this is today. So this is our reality today. As I'm sure you're aware, with HEM, we like to give you polls in our website, in our webinars. So I'm going to launch the first poll. I think I just did. That's not the poll I wanted to launch, actually. So I'm going to close out that poll. I'm gonna launch another poll. Sorry about that. You all got very excited about that one, and it's a good one. But we're gonna do another poll indeed. This is the one I want to launch. Here we go. When is the last time you updated or optimized the SEO of your school's website? Was it in the past month? Was it in the past 6 months? Was it maybe it's been a year or within the past year? Or some of you are kind of thinking, well, I don't know. So remember, this is anonymous, so we don't know who you are, but it does help to understand, in our point of view, where are you as an audience, where are you standing? And then it helps you to see also, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and share the results here. It helps you to see how everybody else is doing. So it's really even across the board here. Thank you for engaging. It's almost, absolutely even where it's been either a while. I'm pretty impressed with those of you who are doing it in the last month, the 5 or 6 of you, and still 5 or 6 of you are saying, I don't know when the last time was. So this is an important question. One thing that I want to communicate here is that it's important to optimize your SEO in either A or B, monthly or at least every couple of months. It's the kind of thing that does not just, it's not one and done. Google really pays attention to those who routinely update your SEO on your website. So that's an important thing to just take away from the webinar altogether. All right. So we're continuing on, and I want to show you what has happened in the past year alone in AI evolution and in organic search evolution. So I could show you a calendar of AI evolution since 2022, which would boggle your mind. But in the past search alone, you can see that what's really important is that AI overviews became more common and then became a regular thing. Basically, at first they were kind of rolled out sparingly, and now they're quite routine to show AI overviews in your regular Google search, let alone going straight to Gemini or AI mode. But then AI mode is teased and brought out in testing in December of 24. And then we get into ads being visible in AI overviews and in AI mode in May of 25. So we're looking at, in the impact on search on the right side, we're looking at summaries being common. So these zero-click searches are more common. Monetization of AI beginning, and therefore you've got more people kind of getting into the game of trying to place ads. That's in such an early stage right now. It's not a topic we're going to take on. It may very well likely be a webinar topic in the coming year, but right now it's too soon because it's really just getting out there. But you can see just how much this has grown in the past year alone. I want to take a step back and just kind of walk through some core elements, and we're going to tie them directly into SEO. So again, we're talking about GEO, generative engine optimization. Some people call it AIO, artificial intelligence optimization. Whatever acronym you use, same thing. You're focusing on optimizing the content of your website for AI-driven tools, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Copilot. Unlike traditional SEO, GEO is going to prioritize content that aligns with each AI model's ability to generate an accurate, intuitive, and useful response. So it's really working to create that best response. That's what they pride themselves on, right? So they're extracting information from website content on the topic of the inquiry, combining those multiple sources, providing the answer that's easy to digest. So how it works is you want to be visible in you see the query and the answer on the left. You want to be visible in that blue outline where you are cited with hyperlinks. You see the hyperlink to the college cited as the source for that answer. And to be visible here, your content must be written in a natural language, conversational. It also is written to answer what, when, and why, especially how. Why and how get bigger and bigger, and more important, play a larger role in getting you into the answers here. So when you look at them side by side, search engine optimization, we used to research top keywords, add them into our coding. We would include them in program pages and blogs. We would include them in alt text with the idea of being on page one, position one, the why we would do SEO. We want to be top of the search results there so that we can drive more organic traffic to our website. We get higher quality leads, higher than paid ads. So it's worth it. And it's something that's super important to us. In generative engine optimization, we're making your website more visible in AI results by researching queries that are common in your program categories, considering additional and related queries, and then answering in a natural language the answers to those queries. It's a clear, contextual, and maybe in-depth answer, sometimes not too in-depth, just enough to absolutely give them a clear answer. And the reason why is just because of the growth, that we're seeing in more and more people searching this way in all of those large language model places. So what I now want to ask you is question number 2. And I'm going to launch the poll over here. How have you changed your approach to SEO to adapt to AI's evolution of the way people search? I realize we haven't talked about that yet, but I want to know if you're doing this, what are you doing? Are you adding more content in the form of FAQs? Are your subheads now in the form of a question and then the paragraph is the answer? Uh, are you evolving from keywords to longer tail keywords? Are you doing those first 3 steps? Or are you still kind of focused on your Google search style SEO keyword? Great answers. Thank you for going ahead. We can go ahead and share those results. And we see that a majority of us are still on kind of the SEO bandwagon. It's why you're here, of course, and that's awesome. And it's, as I've said and made clear at the beginning, this is still worth your time. It's important that you do this. I must say it is also important that you begin to dabble into A, B, and C, because that's where we're going to talk about how you can do those things. But it's very interesting to see kind of where everybody is. In trying to just keep up with this changing world. So thank you for your votes there. Okay, we're going to stop sharing. And then as we go on, I want to focus on really what you came to learn more about, what we know about SEO. The benefits remain as you've seen them before. SEO benefits provide long-term organic traffic growth to your website. Granted, there's been a bit of a hiccup in that growth as we saw a whole lot of organic growth really turning in other directions the past 6 to 12 months. But continued work on SEO is going to help you with that organic traffic growth, organic lead gen, greater ROI than paying ads, as I'd said before. And then those unseen benefits, they build trust, credibility in your school's brand over time, and they build website authority over time. Both are very important elements, though unseen, but they are understood. So Let's talk about 2025 trends shaping SEO. And the first one I'd like to is I think a bit of an anti-trend. And the reason I say that is because I've read so many articles the past 12 months that meta descriptions are dead. Not true. Meta descriptions may have declined in terms of their efficacy and their power in terms of driving SEO. But what's important for you to remember is that a meta description is like a mini advertisement for your school. This in the blue is your meta description. And in a search result, it is the next line of copy, and really kind of the first line of copy after the name of your school, that tells the user what you have and why choose this school. So this is that first sentence out of your mouth when someone asks, where do you work again? And what school is that? Why should I consider it? This is the value of the meta description. So don't discount it. A major trend here, of course, 64% of searches are mobile. So think mobile when you're thinking search. And also consider that desktop users are more likely to click on page one, position one, whereas mobile users are more likely to look at the results of a search and just initially begin to thumb. They're not as likely to click, they're more likely to scroll and keep looking. So that's a thing to consider, that if you're not page one, position one, you're still in the game. And that's where, again, a meta description might come in handy. But it's just an interesting user action that we want to be optimizing for. Another trend in SEO is including your location name in your listings, whether it's in your website listing or whether it's in the map listing or in blog articles, program pages. I mean, go beyond the obvious and make sure, especially if you live in a place that's recognizable and somewhat reputable. That may not be what your school's all about, but it's likely going to be part of what the user is looking for. That prospective student is going to include that region or city in their search because that's something they're targeting. So keep in mind, and maybe you haven't done this enough, but where are you located? Make sure that that's listed. AI's impact on SEO. Of everything we've talked about, SEO and AI so far, the way people search is changing, right? They're getting more specific and expecting a more specific answer as a result. The result on your end is it just makes your content more important than ever. Your niche, your expertise is more important than ever and will help you stand out. Your unique approach to key academic programs is more important than ever. So offer those in-depth insights that address prospective students' questions. And if you're not familiar with the EEAT acronym from Google, it's basically more than ever in your SEO, it is looking at the content on your website and evaluating if it delivers experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So is that alive not only in your blog articles, but in your smaller news articles or in your program pages? Really important stuff here. AI's impact on SEO has also affected keywords. We used to think a long tail keyword was best rated healthcare school or courses to get into nursing. Well, now it's getting a whole lot longer. So consider that the tail of a long tail keyword is essentially a full-on sentence right now. So think that thought, and how are you integrating questions like this and answers in your content? So now let's get more into optimizing for SEO today. It comes right to the content. It's more than ever going to help you stand out as the answer, and I'll give you kind of a spoiler alert. It's going to help you with GEO as well. But if you focus on user intent, what do they need to know? Make sure your content aligns with common search queries, more than just one or two. Look at multiple queries of the types of things people are asking for. And write it in conversational prompts or questions and then answers. It's important to maintain accuracy and authority. Produce well-researched, factual content on your website. Take your time. Don't just scramble it out there. Cite reputable sources, establish credibility, and you want to establish credibility with the SEO bots and also with your prospective students. And then freshness is super important. And this goes back to the first thing I think I said. Routinely create new content, routinely work on your SEO. If you have blogs that are more than a year old, go back into them, refresh them, rewrite them. So old content, just because it's on there, isn't really helping you so much and could help you even more if you brought it back into the edit mode, refreshed it, gave it new keywords, gave it new modern references, and then re-released it. So keep that in mind. Freshness is a very important element in your SEO today. It's important to balance keyword usage with semantic understanding. So SEO is taking a card out of the playbook of AI search or GEO, and that is semantic search, organizing content around broader topics and adding context. So for example, instead of targeting digital marketing degree as a keyword phrase that you want to write about, think about multiple articles about your digital marketing program, careers in digital marketing, salaries in digital marketing, graduate testimonials from our digital marketing students and alum. So think of the multiple articles you can write around that one topic so that you can kind of surround it semantically. And this visualizes that to some degree where you have a program page in the center, you've got multiple articles on that same topic. And what now you are beginning to build is what's called a cluster. You're going to use coding to cluster your multiple articles about a program together so that Google doesn't just see now when the bots come to visit your web page in a search for cosmetology programs, it's going to see more than just one page. It's going to see this larger target of multiple pages with lots of content. So it's more likely to be seen as a valuable resource. Optimize your content structure. This is age old, where you should be writing in clear headings and subheadings, bullet points and numbered lists. Include FAQ elements, and I think that's actually next or coming soon, but yeah, include FAQ elements or key points at the very top. Often we see articles now that have 3 or 4 key points of the article below, so that if all you have time to do is scan for 10 seconds, you get the information. Another important optimization is making your keyword relevance clear early in your title tags. So you saw that blog page that we had from this school earlier. So I wanted to show you the coding above that shows the title tag with, keywords embedded early. Roadmap for college readiness success. So that is basically reiterating in the tags in the back end of the page coding. You're reiterating your keyword usage that's been put in the blog itself. And also just the title page of the page, it has that title of the blog with those keywords in there. So again, you're kind of reiterating everywhere you can. You want to add those keyword phrases. Okay, time for our third and final poll, and then we're going to get into some nitty gritty here. What's preventing you from evolving your SEO with the changing optimizations? I know that's a bit of a push, but I just want to ask because I don't know exactly how it is everywhere. Is it that you can't keep up with the changes? Is it that your team just doesn't have the time? Or maybe you don't see it right now as a primary task or issue? Or is kind of today in this webinar, or maybe you're kind of in a season of learning and taking this on, and now is the time I'm going to make this an opportunity. I really appreciate you voting. Thank you for engaging with us. You guys have been super engaging. And now we're sharing the results, and I see that it's the time. Yeah, yes, it takes time and effort. So important and understandable. Hopefully you're understanding how much there is involved in doing this. But there are lots of ways that you can find partners to do this with you. So that's why we're here, and perhaps we can help. So we appreciate that opportunity. We'd love to have that conversation because we know it's more important than ever with that current drop in organic traffic just as is. Okay, enough of the commercial. So let's go into SEO tactics that, as I was saying before, also work with generative engine optimization. So first, we're focusing on answer-focused content. Directly answer your user inquiries. Create content that gives them complete, concise answers to common questions. So instead of just a general blog about the benefits of a paralegal career, what are the benefits of becoming a paralegal in Canada? And as you can see, the snippet on the right appears in the AI search on the left. The other example of providing answer-focused content is welcome back FAQ. So the FAQ is one of those devices used in the earliest of websites, and I think for years has been thought to be a little outdated, but it's back because it is absolutely in the format of an AI inquiry and answer, which is also becoming the SEO format of an inquiry and answer. So not only have a single FAQ page, but we're adding FAQs to the bottom of every article, even every program page. It's basically that reiteration of if I, it's too long, didn't read it, I'm going to scroll to the bottom and just read the FAQs. And it's not only easier for the user experience, but it provides you the content, so you're more likely to be, as we can see here, cited as the answer to that question. Your main strategy for SEO and GEO, again, is to maintain that authority. Publish expert-driven career guides, cite reputable sources, and earn that trust and respect. That remains very valid. And then this one has really exploded, especially the past year more, honestly. Give your content legs by providing the answers that are multimodal, meaning they're in video, they're in charts, they're in graphs, they're on multiple platforms, YouTube, Reddit, Quora, LinkedIn, not just Facebook and Instagram. So you want to be in many places above and beyond your website so that you can be seen. It's these other platforms that are being referenced in citations in the results of AI queries, in Gemini, in ChatGPT. So as you saw, there are videos in these answers to your questions. Have a video that could be that answer to a question. And another strategy for GEO and SEO is to add structured data and schema markup to your content. So your unstructured data, the messy one at the top, that might be an article that's super easy for a person to read. You also want to redistribute that content in a way that is structured so it's easy for a machine to read. Then that is done in coding in the back end of your website. So that's a place where HEM can help as well. This is what it looks like in a kind of a more organized way. It can also look quite messy, but you can do schema markup to organize things by FAQ, by program or course, by review, by event. You get to list all the specific elements in there. And in doing so, you're more likely to be seen in these elements and integrating the metadata enhancements so that your schema markup and AI readability is huge. And lastly, just optimize for voice and conversational searches. So your tools for monitoring, one of my favorite new ones is called Also Ask. So you can type in the question on the left, and you can see my arrow is pointing to my tiny little first question. What Also Ask is going to do is it's going to break it up into 4 new questions and then 10 more questions for each of those 4. So it's a massive way to see what are those added relevant questions that explode out of my first question. This is how AI is searching today. It's how SEO is searching today and beginning to amass the different which articles are answering the 4 sub-questions and then the 40 additional sub-questions. You can also go to your search console to look for insights into search queries and see where, what questions are being asked and leading traffic to your website. Specifically, go to Google Analytics into your acquisition of GA4 and traffic acquisition session. If you search by session, source, and medium, and type in the word chat, you can see how much traffic is coming to your website as a result of ChatGPT, for example. If you were to write Gemini, you could get it from Gemini. And this shows you traffic today that you're getting from AI search. So this is a way that you can use your Google Analytics to see, am I showing up? And also to measure in the future, after I optimize, am I showing up more? And of course, tools like SEMrush can show you, are you showing up more in SERP features, for example, and Ahrefs, which is showing, am I showing up in schema, SERP features? These are all the important tools to be using to monitor your experience there. So we're running low on time. I'm going to kind of shoot past the key takeaways because I want to talk to you about our HEM Academy course. And please type in your questions if you haven't already. It's time to go to Q&A. We have, as part of HEM, an Academy course. It's 3 online classes on these dates. I'm going to, when we send you the deck, you can click on this link to learn more and then register for the class. It starts in a week on September 24th. We would love to see you there. And who's we? Well, that's me and Philippe. So if you're in Europe and the UK, please reach out directly to Philippe with your questions. We'd love to connect and talk more and kind of geek out on SEO and GEO and your website. And if you're in North America, I'm your guy. Happy to chat with you in Canada, the US, and Mexico. So glad you came to join us. I now have to find my way to Q&A. I don't have any new questions since y'all chatted with me at the beginning. How do we align these pieces of advice with legal readability requirements? That's a good question. They're 2 very different approaches, though, because the pieces that we're talking about is the content itself. What are you writing and producing in and on your website? Whereas the readability requirements is how is it shown and visible? So that's a more technical aspect of your website's design and visibility. So that really should be broken down separately in that regard. Is it a good idea to rewrite content of our website with ChatGPT, or is there another better one? Is it good to use LLMs for all this? So you're asking if you should use ChatGPT or another large language model as a writer. That's a tough question, because what we recommend you do, and what we preach at HEM, is use your large language models as a starter. Use it to help you with ideation, those very first stages of, if I want to write a responsible program page and a relevant program page, here's my audience, here's my school, here's our unique value propositions. Can you outline it for me, please? That's a great prompt to put in a large language model to give you the outline, perhaps, so that now you can write it. Because we believe at HEM that you, the individual, are going to be best to write the words that communicate why my school. Large language models can write well, and sometimes better than I can write, as each of us individually say that. It wrote it a whole lot better than I could. But only you can really communicate what makes your school stand out and makes your school outstanding. So I would recommend you use large language models overall as a content creator in the earliest stages, and then maybe at the very end to check for grammar, or, can I say it more concisely, things like that. But I really recommend, when it comes to the content creation itself, you do that work. Appreciate that. Great questions. We're low on time, and I've taken a lot of yours. I really appreciate you being here with us. Hope you found this useful. Again, you'll be getting a recording of this webinar as well as the deck in your email in the coming days. So thanks very much. Please reach out to us at HEM. We'd be happy to have a further chat on this. Hope you have a great rest of your afternoon. Bye-bye.